Hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You ready? Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart.
Oh, my camera is acting up today. I had to restart my computer. Let me see if I can get this going. Tech is always an issue. Let's see. Trying to see if I can. Hold on, let me see. I might have to switch cameras. Uh-oh. Trying to see if I can get my camera up and going. Let me unhook it. Hold on. I'm gonna have to use my other camera. Generally, when it does this, let me get my other camera up and going. Ooh, there we go. It takes some time because I don't know. I don't know why the camera does that, but that's technology for you. You can see it in the flesh. Let me print this out again. Right before I went online, it started tripping. So there we go. Let me put that back in. And we're ready to rock and roll. Thank God. It has to reset itself. So I don't know what the deal is with that, but we're going to move forward. Let me bring this up. And then my printer went berserk too. Don't know what that was about. Just crazy today. But anyway, welcome to day 9 of the 12 days of giveaway. My name is Michelle, aka the Ignited Teacher. And what I do on this channel, or all my channels, is I help math teachers like you to close learning gaps by providing you with strategies, response to intervention, support, so that you can close learning gaps as early, and they can be implemented in your classroom as early as the very next day. So what I do is I help you with vertical alignment, um, teaching strategies, all the things that helps to close learning gaps. That's what I focus on this channel. I'm not one of those channels where you see a lot of fluff. We serve meat and potatoes over here. And our goal is to close gaps quickly, disaggregate data, use data to drive our instruction. So thank you for being a part of the 12 days of giveaway. And if you are new here, type new in the chat. And I'm trying to find, oh, there it is, my conversation window. Oh, comments. There we are. If you're new here, definitely type new in the chat and tell me where you're watching from. And if you're not new here, then I don't know why this is in there. I got a whole bunch of stuff going on tonight. If you're not new here, then let me know where you're watching from and what has been your favorite part so far in the 12 days of giveaway. So, without further ado, if you want to become a part of the 12 days of giveaway, you can do so by hopping on over here to the 12 days of giveaway. And we only have 3 days left together. That is it. 3 days. And the only way that you can get the daily freebies, you have to be on the email list. And the email list is in the description of my YouTube video. So you can click on that and I will send you days 1 through 8 and you can watch those videos, but it ends on Saturday at midnight. So this will close out at midnight Saturday morning. This website will no longer be active. So if you're going to be one of those teachers that say, oh, I missed the 12-day, can you share it? Can't do it. Sorry. That's is not going to be available. You would have to get on the email list. I do this annually. This is my 2nd year doing this. I think it's helpful for teachers, and it takes a lot to put on these types of events because I still teach every day. So get on the email list so you can get the freebies and start your January off right. My eye is hurting. All right, so I'm trying to get I don't know what's wrong with my printer. I've been trying to get it to print and I can't. It keeps doing that which it wants to do. And it has paper in it. I don't know what this is about. But anyway, I'm going to share it. Day 9 is about integers. And we're going to talk about integers. But I'm going to share something that is not a part of the freebie. The freebie today I'm going to show you is part of a slide deck right here. So this one is zero pairs where you can create equations. So it's already there in there with you for you. And then you have this slide adding integers, and you can help your students understand that -1 plus 1 is 0. And it goes back to the zero pairs. That's already done for you. So if that's your struggle, you can use that to clear up those misconceptions with your students. And I'm going to show zero pairs for you. But what I wanted to actually show you is this. This is something new for me, and I always say you connect the known to the new. Well, students know about positive and negative points on a battery. Most of them know, even little kids know that. So when you are showing this to your students, it's easy to actually do this with them. So introducing this as an anchor for students is a no-brainer. It is. It's a no-brainer because what it does is it sets them up for this here, positive and negative. So what students know and what they teach in science is that negative and positive charges cancel out, therefore creating electronic charge. This is that. It creates an electrical charge. If you get your students to understand this, especially struggling students, it will help them with these zero pairs. I know a lot of secondary teachers start out with zero pairs, but it's not my choice that you start out with that. I say you need to really start out with I'm trying to find some paper. You need to start out with an anchor or something that they're familiar with, because in math there are two strands. You have the real life strand and you have your mathematical strands. If you start off with a mathematical example, you're going to lose a lot of your students. You're going to lose a lot of them. A lot of them are not going to pay attention. That I do know. That I do know. They're not going to pay attention. Why am I on here? Hold on one second. I moved this. Okay, there it is. I needed to move this one up. Sorry. All right. So if you start with this, your student, a real life example of how you're connecting the math, it will go over a lot better with your students. It just does. I have tried this, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't even think about this until I want to say a couple of years ago. And it's almost like reading, creating an anchor text, using an anchor text to actually connect it to what the students are going to be learning mathematically, especially for algebra. Now, here's what I do know. I'm going to be sharing some strategies for solving 1 and 2 step equations. And what I do know is if you are working with algebra 1 is nothing but lines. And if you don't have a real life situation, you're going to lose your students. You are. So if you don't get anything else out of um, tonight's live stream, get that. Start with a real life situation and then connect it to the math. That's the way mathematics, that's why a lot of our students don't find that math makes sense, because you're not connecting that new to the known. And what it is real life. And if you don't know a real life situation, use your resources. There are plenty of Facebook groups for math teachers and elementary math teachers that you can get plenty of support with a real life situation. No, those days where we are working in isolation are over, because we have those support systems in place. So I'm going to switch over to, because this is the real life that's one tip. And I'm going to use, let me get my color tiles out. I mean, my two color counters out. Hold on one second. I just, oh Lord. Where did I stick them? I just had them yesterday. Okay, here we go. Luckily, I have some on hand. Watch, as soon as this is over, I'm going to find my bag that was supposed to be sitting right here. So we use two color counters for your negative and positive. This is very abstract. Let me put this on the table. This here is very abstract. When you're saying that, oh, I have a negative and this is a positive and they cancel each other out, children do not understand that. That's why this is very important, because if you connect that positive to your positive charge on a battery, students will automatically get it. Then if you connect that negative, which is the red, to the negative charge, students will get it. So if you're saying, okay, hey, pretend this is a battery and I have a negative and a positive. So if I put them together, what happens? It creates a zero pair. You can have the students discuss, why is it zero? Make them think about and have a connection to the math instead of pulling it out of the air. That's where I think we lose a lot of our secondary students, because they are struggling with mathematics, but we're not helping it because we're not connected it to their everyday life or lives. So if this is a zero pair, and you start just putting some things out there. So if you want to teach them adding integers, and this is important, because one of the things I noticed for solving equations, this is the issue. It's not the X and Y, the variables. The issue is integer rules. And I don't care what calculator, because we have a lot of new teachers say, oh, well, they get a calculator. Well, so what? They have to understand what to put in the calculator. So it blows my mind to hear a lot of secondary teachers say, well, they just put in the calculator. And then you have calculus teachers that are saying, well, the kids don't know their multiplication facts. Absolutely, they don't know them, because we have teachers that are saying that, hey, they get a calculator. And I understand it's not your responsibility to teach multiplication and division, but it's not for you to perpetuate the problem. Because when I taught 8th grade, my students didn't get a calculator till later on. There were other teachers that gave them a calculator earlier. That's not my ministry. My ministry is to teach mathematics. So we solved equations by hand for a long time because of this integer issue. So if I have +3 plus -1, first of all, you should have the students interpret this model. That's the first step. They need to interpret this model. +1 plus -3. I had it backwards. +1 plus -3. What does that look like? And then you can have them verbally discuss. Okay, this creates a 0 pair. That's 0. So what do I have? -2. Then they can explain when you have or make the connection that when you have more negatives and less positives, then you're going to have a negative number. These are some things that you can have them understand. Now, when it gets to multiplication and division, remember multiplication is repeated addition. So if you have -2 times +4, so it goes back to multiplication. -2, and I'm going to write this down, times 4. What this means is 2 groups of -2. So 2 groups of -2, and 2 groups of 4, which 2 of them are going to be negative. Okay, so you can frame that and take it back to groups of. These are negative. They're negative. So a negative times a positive is negative. And let me see, did I say that right? Because no, these are all negative. So they're going to be negative on the inside because this is just the size of them. So they're all negative. So -2 times 4, and that's my fault, is all negative, and you're going to have 4 in each group. So it all connects. So you're going to have -8. But if you don't connect it as a teacher going back to 3rd grade, because that's where this is at. It helps to deepen the understanding of students. So you have -2, which the groups are negative, and then I have 4 in each group. So say for instance, and I'm going to do it again, -3 times 2. If we drop the negative sign, it will just have 3 times 2. This means 3 groups of 2. This means 3 groups of 2. But here's the thing. The 3 groups are what? Negative. So if I have 3 groups of 2, they're -6. So that's where the multiplication comes in. And here's the thing, if the students don't understand it conceptually, they are going to struggle. They are. Especially one of the things, I don't think it's the negatives for division or those rules it is that subtraction. So for example, if we have, this is the biggest misconception. So if we have -5 plus, positive, negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus positive 3. Well, this is the problem we have. The students don't make this connection. Let me move it over with the zero pairs. That one-to-one correspondence. And you can say this is one battery, two batteries, three batteries. There's no negative and positive for the battery. And then you have that. Oh, you see how that can be connected. And that's the issue that we're having. So I'm going to go back to this screen where I have the adding integers. This is a misconception that students have all the time. And they struggle with it. It is the biggest issue and the biggest, what's the word I'm looking for? It is the largest misconception that causes problems when solving equations. I can tell you this, that is your issue. But if you start with an anchor connecting that known to the new, this will be most helpful for students. So hopefully these are some tips as we close out the first semester that you can go back in your classroom and actually help your students with those little things. And I'm not saying, because even in my classroom, for me to change something in my classroom, it has to be monumental, meaning that it has to be mind-blowing. And I'm going to say, yeah, we're doing this. I generally don't change things. I will tweak them. And I highly recommend that you not change everything, because what happens is you have to remember, with every change that you make in your classroom, there has to be procedures and routines put in place again. I don't want to do that, because once students get comfortable and your class is rolling, make tweaks, put it on your to-do list for next year. Please don't upset your whole classroom, because you will regret it. Because trying to get kids into a different routine, I took over a classroom mid-year, and even this year I took over a classroom. It wasn't mid-year, but it took a while. It took I want to say, a grading cycle for me to get the kids into a routine. It is not easy, and I would not recommend it for you all. So again, if you are interested, we have 3 more days together. Today was day 9. Tomorrow will be day 10. We're wrapping it up. Tomorrow will be solving equations, which is one of my favorite. And I'm going to connect integers with as a misconception that causes issues with solving equations and that whole 9 yards. So tune in tomorrow, get on the email list. I'm going to drop, let me see if I can hop on here without messing anything up, because today was not a good technology day. Let me go to my channel. Day 9. Let me see. I'm going to go here. Drop it in the comments section if you want to be a part. Let me find my comments for a second. It disappeared. Let me put it here. If you still want to be a part of it, join the 12 days of giveaways. And if you join today, you will get all of the freebies from the previous 8 days with this link. You have 3 days. I really have enjoyed this. So hopefully you have enjoyed this. You got some tips that can help you move your students forward, get those outcomes going, because sometimes these kids getting those numbers to move is like trying to get molasses in the wintertime to move very quickly, and it does not. It's frustrating, but it happens at a slow pace. So what I want you all to do is get on my email list to get the freebies, and I'll see you all tomorrow for day 10. Bye-bye.